Deep in the forest, where light is a mere suggestion and the shadows start to roar, the stories. Stories of things that should not exist, but they persist. Massive footprints growl in the distance, whispers from witnesses, footsteps in the dark. For generations, they lived between stories and reality, feared by some, hunted by others, dismissed by many, believed by few. Today, we walk into the wilderness, into the legends, into the accounts of those who returned. Bigfoot, a massive, human-like figure, seen deep in the forests, never caught, never proven, but people keep seeing it. Hundreds of sightings have been reported across nearly every U.S. state, spanning decades and showing no signs of stopping. Perhaps the most iconic of these is the Patterson-Gimlin Film. In the forests of Bluff Creek, California, on October 20, 1967, Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin claimed to have encountered a Bigfoot and captured it on camera. The 59.5-second clip is one of the most analyzed videos in history. The creature, nicknamed Patty, appears as a large, hairy, human-like figure walking along a creek bed. Most experts remain unconvinced, noting that Patterson had already established a Bigfoot-related business before the footage was released. Patty wasn't the last. 2 years later, 1,000 miles north and 1,000 tracks later, the snow has its own story. In Bossburg, Washington, 1969, a town near the Canadian border. While dumping trash on November 24th, Joe Rhodes spotted something in the snow, an enormous human-like tracks. 2 weeks later, researchers Ivan Marks and René Dahinden found 1,089 more prints in the snow. They photographed the tracks and cast plaster molds. The tracks wound along a railroad, leaping a wire fence and disappearing into the wilderness near Lake Roosevelt. The left foot measured 17.5 inches long, and the right foot deformed, with lumps on the outer edge and a twisted third toe. Dr. John Napier, former curator of primates at the Smithsonian, studied the casts. He identified the deformity as Talipes equinovarus, or clubfoot, and likely from a childhood injury. Whoever or whatever made these tracks was walking on a clubfoot. 1,089 consecutive tracks through open snow, an unknown animal, or a dedicated hoaxer. Will you be able to count them? I could, technically. Nearly 2 decades later, a former Forest Service patrolman would claim to have seen something even more unsettling. Not one, but a whole family. In the remote wilderness of Washington's Blue Mountains, it was 1994 when former U.S. Forest Service patrolman Paul Freeman captured what would become one of the most debated pieces of footage in cryptid history, a shaky, grainy film of what he claimed was a family of Bigfoot moving through the dense forest.
Oh, there he goes. There's 2 of them, I guess. Man. Oh. I wonder where they went.
Freeman had his shaky footage. But in June 2001, a youth group called Campus Life was backpacking through the Marble Mountains of Northwest California, led by a man named Jim Mills. The group stumbled upon a strange shelter. It looked like it wasn't built with tools. The trees had been snapped by something incredibly strong.
We spin in here and we see how whatever it is has been all smoothed out.
Looks like I'm going to be sleeping with my revolver next to my pillow this time.
We see that they use trees around about to just...
They see how they're broken, snapped like
they're
twigs.
snapped like twigs. No hatchets, no human marks of a saw. Everything snapped as though by mighty, mighty strength.
And then they looked up at the ridge.
Yeah.
No, it stopped and looking at us.
It's kind of looking at us.
I don't see it.
Moving now.
The trees. It's to the right of them. It's walking that way.
What tree?
The trees.
Do you see?
Okay. See that King's Castle?
Yeah. He's that
down that
kind
hill.
of little skinny thing.
That little thing.
Oh, it's him.
Yeah. On the right side of the tree.
Kind of small, but this is a far way away.
I don't see nothing. Seriously.
On the ridge.
On the ridge.
Right on the ridge.
Almost to those trees.
It's coming down this way. See the patch of snow in the middle there? There's 3 patches of snow up there. See the one right up, straight up above the patch of snow?
Right under that big wall.
Yeah. The bigger patch of the 3 patches of snow.
Over here?
Yeah.
What about it?
He's walking.
An experience that every Bigfoot hunter envies. In 2007, no one was even looking. A trail camera caught it on its own. Deep in Pennsylvania's Allegheny National Forest, in 2007, a trail camera captured something no one could quite explain. A large figure moving through the trees and walking on 2 legs. Not quite human, not quite animal. The photos, taken by trail camera, spread quickly. Researchers, wildlife experts, and Bigfoot believers all took notice. Some say it's a bear, but bears don't move like that. Others aren't so sure. And years later, the images still haven't been fully explained. And those are just 5, only a small glimpse of something darker. So what is Bigfoot? Estimated heights range from 1.8 to 2.7 meters, and witnesses consistently describe a towering, muscular, bipedal, ape-like creature covered in black hair. The first documented Bigfoot sighting dates to 1811, recorded by fur trader David Thompson in what is now Jasper, Alberta. Since then, it has been spotted across western Canada and U.S. states, with the most reported sightings in the Pacific Northwest and Ohio, and even stretching as far south as Florida. Some believe Bigfoot is an undiscovered primate, intelligent enough to avoid humans, hiding in forests we've barely explored. Others say it's misidentification, a bear, a shadow, a trick of the mind. And some say it's the longest-running hoax in history. Stories passed down and exaggerated, footprints faked, sightings shaped by belief. But here's what's hard to ignore. The reports keep coming, from people with nothing to gain. So, what do you think? Is Bigfoot real, or is it just a hoax? Or something else? Have you personally encountered it, or does someone you know have a story to share? Bigfoot may be the most famous thing hiding in the forests, but it's not the only one.